Hey, I'm Larkin Graziani, and this is Cooking with Larkin. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful San Marzano tomato sauce. We're going to put in a little crispy pancetta, garlic, white onion, and crushed red pepper to spice it up. Stay tuned. So we're here in the kitchen. Let's take a minute and go over our ingredients that we will need for this tomato sauce. Pretty basic, things you can all find at the grocery store or in your pantry. Right in front you can see we've got what would be one medium diced white onion. Over here I've got about 2 ounces of diced pancetta, Italian bacon. To the right of that, in the little bit of a container, we have 4 cloves of garlic that are just rough chopped. They don't have to be minced. We've got a little bit of crushed red pepper. You can see our good old California olive oil back there. We've got our salt and pepper container. We do have a little bit of tomato paste there. We're going to use about 2 ounces. And then for the key ingredient, we have got 3 14-ounce cans of whole peeled San Marzano tomatoes. That's what we want to buy. We're going to crush these by hand as we begin to make the sauce. It's going to make it a little bit of fun. What we're going to be using to cook is our Crusette here. A little bit of heavy bottom pot. It works out really well. So we're getting ready to get going. We're going to light this stove, throw those ingredients in, and get to cooking. So as you can see, we have our Crusette here. I've turned the stove on. I'm going to put about a little more than medium on the heat. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add in just about a tablespoon of olive oil. Alright, we don't need much more than that because the first ingredient that we're going to cook with today for this sauce is going to be our pancetta. And that pancetta is going to have some good fat to it. It's going to render out. So we don't want to go in with too much oil right in the beginning. I love using these heavy bottom pots. It may take a second for them to come up to heat, but once they do, they hold their heat very evenly. Fantastic. I don't think you have to worry about as much scorch with the heavy bottom. They're just wonderful. So grab you a little heavy bottom pot, Crusette. I know there's plenty of styles, you really enjoy it. So we have our pancetta here, Italian bacon. You can see that good meat, that good fat on there. That's what we really want. We're going to add this in. Okay? And we're going to allow that pancetta to begin to sizzle. Alright, we're going to give that about a minute or so. It's going to mix with that olive oil. Alright, it's going to start to render. It's going to be looking nice and good. Alright, hopefully you can hear it. And it'll break apart if you got any little clumps or anything like that. Make sure you kind of break them up. Oh yeah, starting to sizzle really nice. We're going to give that a minute or so. And after we get done with our pancetta, we're going to add in our white onion. So like I said, we have a diced 1 medium white onion. Don't want to use any red onion for this, so a white onion. A yellow onion will be just fine. Doesn't have to be a mince, just a nice dice. Oh yeah, I hope you can really see that starting to cook there. This pancetta cooks up really quickly. You can buy that pancetta in 2 forms. I've actually, you can buy a whole roll and dice it yourself, or you can buy it pre-diced, which I've done here today. All right, I'm liking that. We're starting to get some nice little color on there. You can really see that fat beginning to render, getting that dark color on there. So we're going to go ahead and now add in our white onion. Okay. Now this is the point that I like to do our kind of first round of salt and pepper. Whenever you're adding new ingredients into your sauces, into your dishes, every time you add a new layer or a new ingredient, don't be heavy-handed, but you want to season each new layer, okay? So I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of pepper. All right, I'm going to give it a little bit of salt, but just about half the amount of pepper, maybe just like a little teaspoon. And you might be asking why, and the reason is that pancetta is going to have some good, it's bacon, all right? It's going to have some good sodium to it. So we don't want to overdo that sodium. Oh wow, this is looking beautiful. See any large chunks of onion on your dice, just break it up. So what we're going to do is, we're going to allow this pancetta and these white onions to cook for about 6 to 8 minutes, as you always hear on these shows. Cook until our onions start to get translucent, begin to soften up, and that's what we're going to do right here. So as you can see, our onions have been cooking 6 to 8 minutes. They're starting to soften up, really getting a golden brown color on there. It looks fabulous. Our pancetta is continuing to cook. It's not too crispy, which is what we like. Now what we got to do is, we got to add a little bit of crushed red pepper flake. Okay? I'm going to do that here. I'm going to add probably about 2 teaspoons. I like a little bit of heat in mine. If you prefer less, that's fine. Just adjust according to your taste. And what we want to do is add in our 4 cloves of rough chopped garlic. Okay? I do not like to add the garlic too early. We've seen that kind of on some of our other videos. I don't want to risk it burning. It could really give our sauce, give our onions and everything a not great flavor. So I like to add those just a few minutes later once our onions have cooked pretty much 90% of the way. And we're going to allow this crushed red pepper and garlic. Wow, you can smell that garlic immediately when it hits that heat. All right, you can see getting the beautiful color. Okay, now what we've got to do, and this is really going to give us some color, we're going to add in our tomato paste. And what we want to do on this tomato paste is we're going to get a little crack there at the top. You know, a lot of those lids have it in there. Okay, we're going to add that tomato paste directly into our sauce. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons. So bear with me here. I'm going to give it a little guess. You can see me. I'm going to say there's 1. We'll make 2 separate little piles here. 1 and 2. Okay. So we've added our tomato paste. And we're going to mix this in with all of our onions, pancetta, garlic, crushed red pepper. And it is going to thicken these ingredients up and add just a rich, deep, rich color to it. It'll take a second to kind of heat up, but once it does, it'll spread around everything, really begin to coat it. Okay. Make sure everything has gotten a little touch from that tomato paste. There's no rush here. Oh yeah, that's looking wonderful. So now what we can do is, we're going to add in our 3 cans, all right, of whole peeled tomatoes. So what I like to do is, kind of take my spoon, I'm going to pour all the juice out here. While we're doing this, you can cut your heat down, all right? Take these tomatoes and just kind of crush them with your hands, okay? This is a fun thing you could do with the kids if you were making this sauce. You know, let them get their hands dirty, get them in the kitchen having some fun. Kind of sprays everywhere, so it doesn't have to be perfectly crushed, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do to finish this sauce. Dump our sauce in. And you can continue to break these up a little bit more with your spoon as you go. But this is kind of the old traditional way. You know, it makes it fun. So many times nowadays ooh, God, I think that was awesome. Live action shot there. So many times today's world, and we're guilty of it, we kind of go the convenient route on things. But take a Sunday, a Saturday, and kind of go old school traditional here. Crush them up. All right. Last few. Okay. Wipe the hands up. All right, now we can begin to put our heat on about just below medium. And like I said, we're gonna use that spoon to continue to break these tomatoes down. Kind of incorporate all those onions, pancetta, garlic, crushed red pepper. It's a simple sauce, but it's gonna be packed with flavor. These San Marzano tomatoes are fantastic. Pick them up at any of your grocery stores. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect because I'm going to show you what we're going to do at the end. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this on a medium heat and we're going to allow it to simmer for about 25 minutes. When that's done, we're going to bring out our immersion blender. If you're not familiar with that, you'll get a kick out of this. And we're going to blend this sauce right in this crusette. We'll be back. So we've allowed our sauce to cook here for about 20 to 25 minutes. We've kind of constantly stirred it. We've broken up some of those larger chunks of tomatoes the best that we can. But we're still going to have some of those chunks, and we want to remove these. We want to try to make this not super thick. We're certainly not going for creamy. For people that would like creamy, this could be a point that you would add in maybe just a touch of heavy cream if you like that in your sauces, but we're going to go with these beautiful San Marzanos. We're going to have a tangy tomato sauce. It's going to be wonderful. So here's what we're going to use to do that. This is the immersion blender. Great for sauces, soups, when you want to try to break those ingredients down. If you don't have one of these, you could go the old school route, use a Cuisinart. But the key is make sure your ingredient has cooled down a little bit before you go popping it in your Cuisinart, or you're going to be spending 4 or 5 hours cleaning the kitchen. So we've got this on low. It's on a number 3. It goes up to a 9. So we're just going to turn our heat off. And you can hear it's just got some little blades in there. We're going to stick that in our sauce. And we're just going to begin to move that around. You can kind of go up and down. Just don't bring it straight up out of your pot too quick, or you'll end up with a mess as well. But you can already see how that is beginning to break that sauce down. It'll get a hold of those bigger chunks of tomatoes. Move it around. Shouldn't take that long, about a minute or so. And you can get it to the consistency that you would like. If you want to have a few little chunks in there still, those beautiful tomatoes, go for it. Kind of move them around. I think we've got almost all of them. Alright, so we'll take that out. And what we're left with right here is this beautiful San Marzano simple tomato sauce, olive oil, garlic, crushed red pepper, little bit of onion. Alright, those beautiful hand-crushed San Marzano tomatoes. We've allowed it to cook down 20-25 minutes. It's reduced just a little bit. We've used our immersion blender to kind of break up all those chunks. And folks, this is ready for your favorite pasta. We're using it with a little ziti tonight. It's going to be wonderful. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. Always remember, hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification. That way you'll know every time I upload one of these videos. Keep cooking.